Formula One rivalries are not just about Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen on the track. On the pit wall, there's also a heated battle between their two team principals, Toto Wolff and Christian Horner. Wolff and Horner have both contributed significantly to their respective teams' triumphs and moments of glory throughout the years. And in 2021, they both faced the toughest test of their lives, as they found themselves neck and neck in a championship race that went right down to the wire. Red Bull has won 4 straight double titles under Christian Horner, while Mercedes has won 7 consecutive double titles under Toto Wolff. But does the Briton have a competitive edge over the Austrian off the track? Keep watching to find out the juicy details of the heated beef between these two team principals. You don't have to be a human relations expert to work out the fact that Mercedes CEO Toto Wolff and Red Bull CEO Christian Horner don't get along. While the two clearly respect each other, Wolff and Horner have never been afraid to throw shade at each other in public. This has been the case since sometime last season, when the duo was publicly arguing over Red Bull's controversial flexi wing during the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Though things seem to have started there, this feud has been going on for a long time. That's hardly unexpected, given that as the leaders of two of F1's most prominent teams, they frequently find themselves on different sides of the political issues that simmer behind the scenes. It's also quite obvious why they would hate each other when you consider the fact that one of them, Wolff, was in charge of the team that replaced Red Bull as a dominant power in Formula One in 2021. Lately, things have taken on a new dimension, with Red Bull now dominating both championships for the first time since 2013, and Mercedes appearing to be on the back foot for the first time in a while. Horner, in particular, has never shied away from a fight. His tense interactions with Formula Renault chief Cyril Abiteboul were one of the most memorable elements of Netflix's Drive to Survive series. With the correct search phrases, you could find lots of examples of Wolff or Horner telling the other to quit fussing about something. In 2015, Wolff chastised Horner for openly criticizing engine supplier Renault, telling him and Red Bull to put their heads down and fight harder to return to the front. Horner criticized Wolff in 2016 for a telephone call he made to Jos Verstappen to discuss his son Max's aggressive driving style, which was a hot topic at the time. In the years afterward, when Mercedes experienced near unprecedented success, Horner appears to have savored the opportunity to portray Wolff as someone who is terrified of even the slightest threat. When Mercedes opposed the reverse grid plan that circulated ahead of the start of 2021's postponed season, which Wolff compared to a WWE gimmick, Horner accused the Austrian of being concerned that it would jeopardize Lewis Hamilton's chances of winning the 7th world title. Prior to the race, the two had clashed during preseason testing in February when Mercedes debuted its new dual-axis steering system. While the language the two used for the camera was biting, what happened behind closed doors was not as bad. Horner and Red Bull filed the protest against the dual-axis steering ahead of the Austrian Grand Prix, which Wolff lauded as the correct option for F1. There were concerns that a protest after the race might have hampered the first event following the epidemic. The FIA rejected the protest. While cooler heads appeared to prosper behind closed doors, both men like to dominate the narrative in public. Horner in particular never misses an occasion to poke the bear, and his remarks in Baku were more than enough to bring up a reaction. Hamilton was the first to comment on Red Bull's rear wing, according to Horner, and he was directed to do so by Wolff. When under pressure at high speeds, Red Bull's rear wing has been observed flexing downwards. Horner went all in ahead of the 6th race of the season. During an interview with Sky Sports, footage of Red Bull's wing appearing to bend at high speed was presented, as was footage of Mercedes' front wing appearing to do the same. To that, Horner said, "I think if I was Toto with the front wing, he's got on his car, I'd keep my mouth shut." The prospect of Mercedes filing an official objection against Red Bull's rear wing loomed but was never realized during the weekend. While Wolff and Mercedes didn't pursue the matter with the FIA, Wolff was not about to allow Horner's statement to go unchecked. Wolff responded to Horner's statements by telling Sky Sports that Horner is a windbag who wants to be on TV. It was an excellent soundbite that also made for an excellent headline. The race in Baku that followed was incredibly dramatic, and Mercedes finished without scoring a point. As a result, Wolff stated that his team must improve across the board if it's to beat Red Bull to the 2021 crown. Horner couldn't pass up the chance to depart Baku with the final say. When confronted with Wolff's remarks, Horner stated, Toto's statements this weekend have gotten a lot of attention. He's never hesitant to publicly criticize his team, something I disagree with, but that is his right." While the concerns about the front and rear wings are expected to fade, the fact that Red Bull and Mercedes might find themselves in yet another title battle this year means Wolff and Horner will have plenty of opportunities to keep this very public war of words going until the end of the 2023 season. Mercedes and Red Bull have been involved in a multiple season-long war since 2021, with both drivers and team principals striving for the last say. While the struggle on the track has gotten a lot of attention, the verbal war between Christian Horner and Toto Wolff has heated up again. Toto Wolff fired one of his recent jabs at Red Bull head Christian Horner late last season, alleging that he's one of the protagonists in a pantomime and a windbag who wants to be on camera. The statements were made in reply to Horner's campaign against Mercedes and its newly built front wing. Wolff also added that Red Bull should be careful about what they wish for. This isn't the first time team executives have clashed, but it's something that's been forgotten in recent years due to Mercedes' domination. Bernie Ecclestone, Ron Dennis, and Frank Williams were once known as the Piranha Club for their sharp tongues and behind-the-scenes confrontations. With two very different management styles, it's easy to see why Horner and Wolff continue to clash, and it's only going to get worse as the new season approaches. Throughout the turbo hybrid era, Mercedes and Red Bull have enjoyed fierce competition from each other. Toto Wolff has been the German automaker's face, while Christian Horner has been Red Bull's front-runner. The Brackley-based club seems unstoppable following regulation revisions in 2014, but has been dealt a poor hand in the last 2 years. While Mercedes was attempting to win world titles, Red Bull won the 2021's Drivers' Championship with Max Verstappen. The team's most dominant run came in the 2022 season when they both won championships by a wide majority. While the rivalry between the two teams was intense on the track, it was much more intense off the track when Christian Horner and Toto Wolff went on a vocal rampage in the media. There were other occasions when the two team bosses exchanged harsh words. While Mercedes' supremacy has waned since 2020, the rivalry between the two team principals has not cooled. Toto Wolff has gone on the record to talk about Horner even before the 2023 season has begun. Toto Wolff is sick of Christian Horner's mind games. Here's what he had to say about the Red Bull Racing Team boss in an interview with The Times. "I'm living in his head rent-free. He's completely obsessed. Every second I spend talking about Horner is a waste of time in my life," Wolff stated, expressing his annoyance with having Christian Horner as a Formula One adversary. He went on to say that while he still appreciates Formula One, he has other responsibilities. He has had some fantastic moments in F1, and he says he enjoys the team and the challenge. Toto Wolff and Christian Horner have one of the most famous rivalries in motorsport. While Christian Horner's tactics appear to be working on the Austrian, all eyes are on the future as both team managers approach the 2023 season with one aim in mind. Toto wants to return Mercedes to the top of the Formula One standing, but Christian Horner is ready to challenge him for the title. How do you think the battle will play out between these two? Let us know in the comments.